I ain't here to
dealing with
conversate
the
with you, homie.
transphobia, would you be?
I don't give a fuck about what you talk about, trans these nuts, nigga.
It took a while, but you came out. Trump comes to Detroit. You endorsed the guy. Yeah?
I introduced him. Check. I introduced him.
To the city that night.
Because an endorsement is to say, I need everybody to vote for this, that, and the other. You know, that's an endorsement. I introduced him. I voted for him, too.
Yeah, I voted for him.
So,
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for him before, but I don't think I had any choice the way the country was going. Now, you were up on, what do you make of Ukraine and the billions and billions going overseas when you're seeing what's going on in this city?
I don't support money going anywhere until home is taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, you don't drive a $500,000 car and your house only worth $100,000. You know what I mean? And it ain't paid for. You know, it's just common fucking sense. It's like, take care of home first. Why are we financing a war in another country over some NATO shit, and we still got homeless veterans in America?
Yeah.
You know, we still got homeless people. We still have bad water pipes. We still got a million other issues that need to be solved right here in America. We got niggas walking in the bathroom behind women, and it was perfectly damn legal. We got men beating the shit out of women in women's sports, and it was perfectly goddamn legal. Yeah. We got transgenders or transistors or whatever the fuck they are coming in schools talking to children. What the fuck is you doing talking to these babies about what?
I agree with him here. School is supposed to be about math, science, reading, and writing. It's not the state's job to teach your kids about sexual morality. It's not the state's job to teach your kids anything about morality. That's what you're supposed to do at home. And I think that even includes religion. If you want your kids to be religious and to reflect your religion, that's something you teach them at home. That's not something you push to be in the school. So I agree with him here. I don't think that there's any place for people to be talking about their sexual orientation in school. I don't think it's necessary, and I think our schools are already failing at the job that they're supposed to do. According to the National Institute of Literacy, so this is all they do, is pay attention to the literacy rates in America. 40% of kids cannot read at a basic level. And there are people that are focusing on getting LGBTQ agendas pushed into the school. The kids can't read. You want to put the gay books in the school, but the kids are not even literate enough to read. 40%. Right? So our school system is failing at the job that they're already supposed to be doing. Morality is already something that's hard to teach, and I don't think it's our school's job or the state's job to be imprinting morality on the kids, and I think that's where we went wrong. Math, science, reading, and writing, in my personal opinion. And by the way, that statistic is 70% for low-income neighborhoods. 70% of kids in low-income neighborhoods are illiterate. These are the people that are going to grow up to vote in this country. So, yeah, I think the school system's already struggling enough. I don't think we need to be focusing on LGBTQ agenda and putting LGBTQ books in the schools that the kids can't even read anyway because you ask them what their name is and they go, oatmeal.
What the fuck? How the fuck did we get here? At this point, America, we got a goddamn problem. And clearly we can see now what it is. Yeah. All the money and resources that needed for America is being sent everywhere else.
Tara, let me ask you then. I did back of the envelope calculation for about $5 billion. The 40,000 homeless vets in this country, we could, with the land, we could build them a nice double wide trailer for $5 billion. What is the value? You're in Ukraine. What is the value of the Ukraine becoming a constant ward of the United States? Tell us why.
I appreciate the question. I'm a little bit thrown back by all the extreme transphobia that I just heard.
I don't give a fuck about all that.
Out of everything that he just said, he's focusing on the transphobia. But because the man said that he doesn't want men in wigs to come into the schools and try to teach kids about sexual morality and read to kids. What does that have to do with transphobia? Since when did you become transphobic for not wanting these types of people to be in your life or to be able to indoctrinate your kids? Since when was that considered transphobia? Since when was it transphobia for me to say politically you could do? I agree that you should be able to do whatever you want. If you want to go do this sexually, if you want to go identify as a dog, do whatever you want to do. But I just don't want that imprinted onto my kids. Since when did that become transphobia? Silly.
You a question about something else. You ain't got to come back and what the fuck I just said.
Well, I find it pretty interesting that you talk about.
You just got asked a question and you still talking to me, bro. I answer my question to him. You just asked. Talk to Charlie, bro.
I get a right to respond to you. That I'm just.
You don't got. I ain't asked you a motherfucking thing. You ain't got to respond to me. Talk to Charlie.
Well, that's fine.
He asked you a question. I ain't asked you shit, bro.
Secondly, you voted for.
See, still fucking
The
talking.
woman got out of there. The woman that left. Oh, she back.
I'm not here to talk to him, bro. I'm here to talk to you. I don't want to hear shit dog got to say. He started off wrong. I don't know, Trick. Tell me about you.
Well, sir, I was trying to be polite, sir, but now that I was, so you okay. So is it really that deep? So why are you?
Okay, let's see what he said.
How am I supposed to sit here and deal with the extreme transphobia?
Extreme transphobia. That is extreme transphobia, by the way. This is extreme transphobia. People just be saying words just to say them. That is an example of extreme transphobia. So what do you call it when somebody literally harms a trans kid? This is extreme transphobia.
Why are you so? Why your verbal language? Wow. Wow.
Nigga, I don't want to hear that shit. You don't run shit here, nigga. You don't get to fucking tell me how to think or how to talk. Nigga, do your fucking job. You don't got a bitch ass man to say. You can shut the fuck up, nigga, and keep talking to this man. I ain't asked you a goddamn thing.
Why
he
are you
asked
so
you a
angry?
fucking question. And
Wow.
you couldn't wait to get your ass
You
on
can't. I find it so interesting that you have so little self-control about you. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Nigga,
This
wow.
is just so interesting. You're just wow. You lack so much emotional self-control.
You don't tell no motherfucking body how to think. Where the fuck you get
I
off
wasn't
telling
saying
somebody
anything.
how
I'm
to
saying
think?
that
Who the fuck is you? Who the fuck made you the moral authority over how any fucking body talk,
Right.
dog?
What makes you the moral authority?
Well, I found that interesting because
Who made you the moral authority to tell anybody how to talk? Where the fuck do you get your positioning to tell anybody how to talk? I'll wait now.
oh well.
I didn't
much,
think
sir.
so, nigga. Now,
Well,
if you will, answer Charlie LaDuff's fucking question. And please stop talking to me. I ain't here to conversate with you, homie.
Transphobia. Would you be?
I don't give a fuck about what you talk about trans these nuts, nigga.
The N-word.
Shut the fuck
Why
up,
does this
dog.
make you so angry? Why does this
Because
make
you
you so
talking to me, because you out of place, dog. You talking to me, and this man asked you a question. You out of place.
Look at the host.
You don't
Look
get
at the
to tell
host.
me how to think. You don't get to tell me how to talk. You don't know nothing about me. You
Facts.
stated that from the beginning. So at this point,
I'm
me and
happy
you
I
have
don't.
no
I'm
dialogue,
happy I
bro.
don't.
You started
I'm happy
off
I don't.
wrong. You started it wrong. When he told you said something earlier, no, I don't. Trick. Tell me, who are you? What
And
the
that I was joking.
okay, shame on you, nigga. You don't know who I am, and that's cool. I don't expect you to know who I am. But the way you came at me like that,
Wow.
the way,
You are so fragile.
wow. And then now you want to talk about how I talk. Bro, where you
So
get these? Yeah,
So
it makes sense. He in Ukraine. Yeah.
That's a turn of events.
It
Bro,
certainly
don't
was.
no
So
motherfucking
now
kid
that I
tell
made
me
it
how to
today,
talk, dog.
I'll answer the question now
grown
that I've
ass
dealt with
man.
this transphobia,
Don't
and then
nobody
I'll.
how to tell me how to talk about nothing. Nobody.
So why don't you just repeat the question?
Please,
Because I've dealt with that.
Trump has halted weapons.
Yeah, man, transphobia these nuts. And that's the group of black men that came before me. Man, everybody know in the African American community, this stuff don't fly. You talking about a culture of people that make fun of each other because we have on shoes. We have on the wrong pair of shoes. If the logo on your shoes look bad, black people gonna make fun of you about it. And you think that you a boy that want to go into the girls' bathroom and you ain't gonna get made fun of in the black community? And if you get made fun of, it is extreme transphobia? Yeah, man, trans these nuts, man. I'm 30 years old and I can barely understand it. So the fact that Trick probably about 40, 50 years old, I know he don't understand it and he don't care to understand it. He come from a different world. And those are just the gentlemen that came before us. There were certain things you talked about, there are certain things you didn't talk about. And you're not going to sit there and go back and forth and argue about semantics and dumb stuff. Like a man in a wig being in a school, being able to teach kids. I think nowadays sometimes people just need everything explained, and there's some things that don't need to be explained. There's no benefit of having a trans man in a school trying to teach morality or sexual morality to your kids. it's not valuable. And so, in my opinion, I think Trick was right. You could say he expressed it wrong. You could say he was yelling, he was argumentative. I understand all of those things. But again, he comes from a group of people that don't care about. They don't care to understand. They're not here to getting an understanding of what you believe is right or wrong or whatever it may be that people are trying to do nowadays. There's a 40% illiteracy rate in the schools. And we're talking about transgenderism. We got homeless veterans, and we're talking about giving billions of dollars to other countries that 5 years ago we couldn't point out on a map. So I agree with him here. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or a L, and give me the HBO special. That's a Help Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Also join the Patreon. Till next time.